Meow, Huples cat. I woke up to this today. Apparently, Russia probably have used a tactical nuke in Ukraine. In fact, as they're saying probably, it seems pretty definite. This is some raw footage I got off Facebook. Reports are limited, but there's feared large numbers of dead. There is no official response at this time from your government. What do you do next? This is a brief thought experiment revealing some of the things I plan to do, but some of the things I plan to do I am not sharing. You have to be very careful what you do share these days online. I've almost finished stacking the wood, but I still have to use the chainsaw on what's left of the beech tree and some bits of birch that are fairly long. But most of the work's been done, it just needs to be finished off, and that's going to be a priority today. So I'm composting fresh soil. One of the things I'll be doing, so I'll get two of the buckets ready, sealed buckets, get them ready to put by the toilets, so in the event of an actual war, I can switch to using cleaning cloths, not toilet paper. Toilet paper's too precious a resource to be used up. I've already distributed quite a bit of stuff into the forest and hidden it. I'll probably do some more over the next few days. The place has a whole bunch of these kind of discarded wood piles everywhere. I will tap them completely over because I don't want radiation falling on them. They will be very useful as a fire source if we can't buy wood anymore. I'm going to repair the bird feeder. Job done. The juncos can eat. Brave little birds. Beautiful. I maintain pretty decent pantry stocks, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to add to them. I'm going to go to multiple stores and take cash with me. If I can use the Visa, I will, but I have cash in reserve and I'm going to take it out of the safe. And I'm going to start to consider that we should start to make large purchases of things like tinned vegetables and tinned chickpeas right now, rather than wait. In terms of plant milk, because I am vegan, this kind of a product, I'll get many more of them, but not a huge amount. What I'll actually get is quite a lot of large flaked oats, because that is a good way of making plant milk. And then, Wolfie, you can add the leftovers to make a sort of a gruel. Now, one of the things Kitty has been experimenting with is how to do this, and you will find a lot of recipes online for rolled oat milks and stuff like that. If you haven't downloaded that sort of thing, you might want to think about it. But she actually tried an experiment. If you overblend the oats, it's 30 seconds blending fast, you can end up with slime. And they don't recommend you use quick oats because of that reason. Kitty did, it worked just fine. In terms of Wolfie and marmalade, they'll be going on dry food. Very cheap dry food. I have a lot of cheap dry food. That's what you'll be eating, Wolfie. No more treats, no more tinned meat. Sorry, mate. Better that than death. Now we have solar power here, so unless it's an EMP, I'm going to have my lights on and the radio on.
Of course, to keep her alive through the technology. Right. Take a listen to what her father said.
That's CBC Radio 1. That'll be on all the time. This sounds terrible, but what I'll actually be doing is playing it on my iPad, and Kitty has a backup iPad, and we'll keep them on all the time, except when we're sleeping. Crazy pricey these now. But Wolfie approved. Marmalade kitten. And the pepperoni eating pup. Now if we do lose solar power completely, we do have a backup propane generator, which won't last 5 minutes in this type of weather anyway without resupply. So at some point there'll be no propane. This house is passive solar and it works very well, and this one fireplace actually will heat the entire house to a reasonable temperature for a brief period of time. Then it's too hot and you have to open windows. In terms of hot water, we go back to boiling it on top of there. Now we do have an external furnace, which we haven't had a great deal of success with. The first one exploded, and this one we had a loop system and it wasn't plumbed right. I suspect it's still not plumbed right, it's something we should have paid attention to. What we're going to do probably tomorrow or the next day is actually turn it on and see if we can actually get hot water into the house without solar power, which would be a definite bonus at this time of year. And one thing we have is lots of wood. Like I said, I'll be using a lot of tarps, and I have a lot of tarps, to cover the existing wood piles so ash and radiation doesn't fall on them. That's my Berkey. I've never had any problems with it. I've had it for probably 2 decades, but honestly there seems to be some issues with it, at least online. So before you rush out and buy one, have a think. What you do need is to be able to process a lot of water quickly and easily, get rid of viruses, bacteria and Ligardia. Now if the well fails or we have an EMP, this isn't going to work. I did specifically want a hand pump in the house for that reason, but we don't have one. This means a lot of extra work if we lose the well or we lose solar. We'll have to transport water from beaver ponds and streams around here, process it through micro towels, and then process it through the Berkey or through additional water filters that I have. I don't advise you make them out of gravel and sand and leaves and grass. That's an emergency procedure if you're in the wilderness and you haven't had the ability to prep. That is probably going to get you infected in a major grid down. But we do have whack loads of rain barrels, and I probably will fill them up with the mains water over the next few days, given the fact if a tactical nuke has gone off in Ukraine, we might be escalating towards a full-out nuclear war. And if we don't, I will do such preps now that will help me if we do go to full nuclear war, but that I can easily reverse and won't cost me a huge amount of time or money. Putting tarps on wood piles, filling rain barrels with water from a hose is easily done. I did mention security. There are some security precautions I'll be taking from the moment I know a tactical nuke's gone off. And there's also security precautions I'll take once I know we're in nuclear war. I haven't talked about security, nor am I going to. It's very much a personal thing, depends what you do. But I would advise that if a tactical nuke has gone off in Ukraine, you do actually spend some time considering how to protect yourself both when awake and when asleep. I'm going to print out a lot of documents and photocopy a lot of documents and put them in Mylar bags. Yeah, Mylar bags. I like to camp and hike, so I have a fair amount of stuff up here for that. I also have that grain mill. One of the things I mentioned is dog food. There's some dog and cat food, cheap stuff. I will, if I'm buying stuff, add to that. Got my kayaks ready to go, got my winter sleeping bag ready to go, got my winter tent ready to go, got my bag ready to go if I needed to move. I have my own tools, I have everything charged, I have lots of clothing, I have extra blankets, more in the barn. I have medications and the knowledge to use them. I even have board games, though I can't anticipate having any free time to use them. So that's it for me. Take care, keep sane. But I would advise people do their own prepping. Otherwise you're going to be a charity case, and charity often begins at home in the event of nuclear war. Toodles.
There's the unconfirmed report that Chinese in large numbers are crossing the border into Russia. What does it mean?
And you also got Wolfie up early. As you can see, he's hopping around. Hopefully this will be the last day of a plastic bag. He doesn't like it. And hopefully we take the dressing off tomorrow and he'll be fine.